I grew up a child of the 60s. It was a great time for music. I was really intrigued by a song called Turn, Turn, Turn by a band named The Byrds. It was written by a famous poet by the name of Pete Seeger. And it actually comes from the words that we hear in our first reading from the book of Ecclesiastes. But I didn't know that at the time. It wasn't until around 1978 when I had come home from college to have lunch, and I happened to notice that the television was on, and I saw that Menachem Begin, the Prime Minister of Israel, was signing with President Carter the Camp David Accord to bring peace between Israel and Egypt. And at that moment, Menachem Begin got up and started speaking, and he says, "There's a time for war and a time for peace." And I didn't realize that when he was reading, he was actually reading from the Bible. And I started thinking, that song, Turn, 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 came from the Bible, from the book of Ecclesiastes. So I knew at this moment it was a time for me to get learning about Scripture. So what is time? We all ask for it. What time is it? Do you have the time? And you look at our phones to tell the time. To tell the time what? Maybe this is God telling us what to do with our time. In the gospel reading, Jesus asks a couple of questions as he's praying. He asks to his disciples, "Who do they say that I am?" They say, "Oh, you're a prophet, Elijah." But then Jesus asks his disciples, "But who do you say I am?" Very, very great question. And immediately, Peter stands up and says, "You are the Christ God." I think in light of a lot of things that go on today, we know Scripture, we study Scripture, and we think we know Christ through Scripture, and we do. But perhaps we can take the first reading of Ecclesiastes to spend the time not in only studying Scripture, but studying Scripture for a purpose under the heaven, as it says, a purpose to bring Christ from our head into our heart, a time to love Christ, a time to bring him into our own life and have that relationship with him, a time to every purpose under the heavens.